Nemo Radio is on the air.
A, B, C. A, always, B, C, closing. Always be closing. Always be closing.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only. Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
Hey, it's John Nemo. Welcome back to another episode of Nemo Radio. I'm going to say something kind of crazy. Something kind of controversial. Something counterintuitive. And that is this. It is actually a great thing when people steal your content and publish it online. When they do it without permission, when they do it without warrant, when they steal it and paste it everywhere, it's actually great. I was reminded of this because I was Googling something the other day and I was like, oh, what was that post? So I put in my name and then the LinkedIn topic or whatever I was looking. I'm like, I know I wrote a post on that somewhere. Googled my name in this post and then I came up where someone had actually taken my book, LinkedIn Riches, and somehow imported the whole thing and published it for free on SlideShare. Like they took the printed book and like hand scanned in every page and published it as their own work on SlideShare, which is a file sharing platform that LinkedIn bought years ago and its presentations. But anyway, this has been something I've run into ever since I went into business on my own and did publish anything digitally. Like I've got, 12 or 13 online courses. And before I knew what I was doing and how to lock down courses and have security features, people would routinely steal my LinkedIn Riches online course, like download all the videos and then repackage it and sell it on their own as their own thing. We call them pirates. Like they would pirate your course, or if you can go back to the music era, the Wild West of digital music, remember Napster, right? And MP3 downloads and movies and all that for free, illegal. And I used to get so upset because people would obviously steal a course that I had made and was charging money for and then pawn it off as their own. And now, like, I'm thrilled. I'm like, steal all you want. And the reason this is so counterintuitive and different, of course, is the number one thing people are always concerned about, myself included. When I first started, I thought, my stuff is so great, I need to trademark it and protect it. And the reality is, no. No one's that. Like, first off, you're not the only person in the world who's thought of these tactics or strategies. And the reality is, I guess I'm going to just go off on a few different riffs here, but let's start here. Like, think about this. If your content isn't good enough that people want to steal it and swipe it and redeploy it and pawn it off as their own, if your stuff isn't so good that people are literally stealing it and pirating it, then you have a problem. Because the whole point is content is currency. This is the big thing in today's world, and it's been true forever, but even more so now where everything is, commoditized online. Everything is, ChatGPT, everything else has made content so easy to create. Where, I was at a recent coaching conference and they said we're in this synthetic era of content creation. Like literally anyone in 30 seconds can create a blog post on, how to make a client-facing LinkedIn profile, right? You can put that in ChatGPT, it'll spit out some tips, you can publish it. So we're way beyond the, gatekeeper era that I grew up in the 1980s, where if you wanted to be on video in front of human beings, you had to go to a TV station, right? You had to go to NBC. Like you weren't going to just get broadcast to the world with your thoughts. If you wanted to have audio in front of people, when I grew up as a kid in the 80s, you need to be on a radio station. You need to buy airtime or pay for ads. If you wanted people to read your work, you had to work for a newspaper. You had to get your book published. And we live in this era now where, you can instantly reach a global audience for free in real time, by the way, with a device in the palm of your flipping hand. Like we're way beyond worrying about content, how to get content out there. So it comes back to content as currency, and the currency to buy, in quotes, the time, attention, interest, and trust of your ideal prospects online. Your free content, what you give away in your webinar, podcast, ebook, videos, anything, blog posts, articles, your free content has to be so good that people would want to steal it. that people would want to take it and run with it. The reason being, if your content is that good, it sets you apart from the competition. It makes you memorable. It makes you an authority. It makes you credible. It makes you someone people trust for tips, advice, and insights in your industry. So now the concern people always have is, well, if I give away my secret sauce, no one's going to give me money. Or, to my point, like if people are stealing my online course and stealing my book and publishing it on these pirated websites or giving it away for free, I'm not going to make any money, or I'm going to lose money on online course sales and book sales. And that is true. And this comes into another kind of strategic perspective with your business of, have a bigger vision. So when it was just me, subsisting on book royalties and online course sales, yes, it was a huge problem, right? Because I needed every $3 book royalty from the Amazon book sales. I needed every, $47 course sale to feed my family. So if you're stealing from me, I'm losing money there. But what I realized was I wasn't playing big enough, and I wasn't embracing opportunities to really monetize this at a higher level. And so, of course, where I started with LinkedIn lead generation tips was a book and a course and do it yourself. And here's the recipe, and here's the secret sauce, and here's the formula, and here's the walkthrough videos, and here's the templates and the scripts. And that was great. But it was not something where I could hit the revenue goals I had. And what I realized was people kept coming to me saying, just do it for me, do it for me, do it for me. Dude, I don't want to do all this. Your stuff's brilliant. I get it. I see why it works. It's ingenious. I don't want to go and do all the work. So just come do it for me. And it's the, analogy I always use is like food. So if you're the world's best chef, you can publish a cookbook of all your recipes. You can tell them what stores to go to source the ingredients. You can tell them the exact, pinch of cinnamon to put in your famous dessert. Or I can hire you to do all that for me. I can hire you to go to your favorite grocery stores or, farmers markets, get your exact perfect ingredients, hold up every tomato and squeeze it, and then I can pay you to come to my house, to bring all your pots and pans and cooking utensils, to, even bring your own grill if I need you to grill, and cook me your famous meal and, make sure it's pitch perfect, done with your personal flair and touch. That's done for you. So the idea I quickly realized was, okay, people will pay a premium. The top of the pyramid for, finance and payment is do it for me or one-on-one access to me, right, for one-on-one coaching. And so now I realize at the bottom of the pyramid, as you do the pyramid triangle shape, is your free content. Above that is maybe your online courses, books, whatever. The middle might be group coaching. Above that's one-on-one coaching. Above that's done for you at the very top. And so your pricing changes accordingly. And what's fascinating about this is now I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled if I see people stealing stuff and deploying it because I know it's getting the word out. Like you're acting as my salesperson because the reality is, yes, of course, there are going to be people that take your stolen, pirated content and use it nefariously or only use it for themselves and don't share it. But there's going to be a much larger segment of the market who go, man, I'd never heard of this guy, but somebody shared his book and it was free. So I was like, it's free. I'll look at it. Man, it's brilliant. I love it. Where else can I get stuff from him? And I'm going to go Google his name and go to his website and look at his services. And what happens is two things. One is when people get hooked on your content, your free content or your low cost content, so buying my book on Amazon for $1 or whatever, now they become either a referral source and a salesperson for you without even knowing it because they're going to tell everyone. They're going to rewrite their LinkedIn profile using my secret sauce and my template. It's going to look awesome, and all their friends and colleagues are going to go, wow, your profile got a huge facelift. What happened? Like, where'd you come up with that, man? They're going to say, oh, yeah, this guy has a template. It's free. You should go grab it. They now are my salesperson because they're promoting me, growing my email list, getting people into my ecosystem of content. Or they're going to go through my tips and say, wow, this is genius. This is brilliant. I get it. I love the examples. I love how it looks. I'd rather have you just come and do it for me. Just come to my house and cook me the meal. I don't want to go out and buy the ingredients. I don't like cooking. I don't like grocery shopping. I don't like sourcing ingredients. It's not my jam. I just want to eat. Like, come make it for me. And so what you do is you play bigger. And you think about the best way to get bigger is to get known and get your brand known. How do you do that? You get your content anywhere and everywhere you possibly can. So for me, I'm good if people want to steal, and I'm not like telling everyone listening to go steal everything, but like, I'm not worried anymore. In the early days, I would try to chase the pirates down and tell them, turn that off, shut that off. That's illegal. I'm going to get you. And I even looked at hiring lawyers to chase them. And I talked to one lawyer about it back in the day. This is a little tangent on online courses. And he's like, look, man, it's a game of whack-a-mole. You're going to hit 3 of them and get them to take it down. They'll just open 4 new sites and do it again. And the other reality, too, is think about your audience and who you serve. People that go to pirate websites to get their music or videos, or people that go to pirate websites to get online courses for $1, are they ever going to actually spend money with you and pay you your normal rates? No, right? They're buying pirated stuff. So like, they're not going to go pay retail price for your stuff. So you're not going to get them as a customer anyway. I always look at it like, getting the word out is so critical, and creating content. That's the other core lesson. Create content that's so good people want to steal it. I mean, whoa, set yourself apart. So how do you create content that people want to steal? How do you make content that is that good? Well, it's very simple. There's a couple different things you need to do. One is you need to put your best stuff in. You need to give away your best tips for free. You need to walk through your secret sauce, walk through your recipe, make it super abundantly clear how to do it so that people can get quick wins. And again, the whole way I've seen this model work for over a decade for me, and of course across countless other businesses and clients of ours, when you do that, yes, you get a group of people that say, wow, I feel like I'm stealing the value I got from a $5 book. I got this on Amazon the other day where someone emailed me about my book, LinkedIn Riches, and said, I'm telling you, I bought this book on Amazon for $1 on Kindle. Man, it was better than a 2-year MBA program I had. And I was like, great. Like, that's just an example of the content was fantastic, right? And again, if your content's that good, what's going to happen is people are going to do a few different things. One is, some people just use it for themselves. Okay, fine. They weren't going to become a client anyway. 2, way more powerful, they're going to become a referral source or a pseudo salesperson for you and a promoter for you, because everyone's going to see what they did with your stuff and say, where'd you learn that? How'd you get that? I want it. I want that too. Wow, okay, that meal you made was amazing. I want the recipe, right? Just like dinner. What was your recipe? I loved your cheesecake. Oh, I got it from this guy online. I follow him on Instagram. Here, take this. So again, they're going to promote you, promote your brand, grow your brand. And then the third and most lucrative is people are going to pay you for the high-end options. People are going to, like my number one client right now, started out as a skeptic and said, I tried to sell this client into Done For You immediately, and the client said, no, been there, done that, hired LinkedIn agencies, total waste of money, total waste of time. They all promise what you promised, John. They all have the secret sauce. They all have the answers. And I said, okay, fair enough. Like, you've been burned. I'm not here to like tell you I'm different than all the other girls, right? Like, I get it. Like, I would feel the same way. And I told the story on that call, and I've told this story before too, of I once hired 3 different Facebook ad agencies. I did Facebook ads myself. I ended up spending about $45,000. That was probably 6-7 years ago when I had no money and no budget and went into debt, and I got 0 sales. I was trying to sell my online course with Facebook ads because, of course, all the gurus at the time were running Facebook ads saying you could make $1 million overnight with Facebook ads selling an online course, and that's all automated and free and easy. And so I spent like $45,000 trying to do it, and it all failed. So if a Facebook ads agency was to approach me today, that's a pretty big mountain or hill they have to overcome, right? It's like, no, been there, done that. I've used 3 agencies. It doesn't work. I'm skeptical. You all say you have the secret sauce. So what I said to the prospect in this case about my system with LinkedIn was, hey, totally fine. Why don't you go through my do-it-yourself LinkedIn course? That's the recipe. That's the cookbook. That's the secret sauce. Go through it and see. Like, see if we're really different than the other agencies. Because the reality, too, with prospecting is if a prospect comes to you and says, I've tried 6 or 7 other people just like you, and it's failed every time, the prospect might be the problem. It might not be you. You might not want them as a client. So, I said that, too, to the prospect. Like, maybe, not in that rude of a way, but like maybe you're the problem. Maybe what you're offering is fundamentally flawed, or maybe people don't want your service, like, right? Maybe that's the reason it's not working. So anyway, that person bought my online course for a much smaller amount than our Done For You, of course. and loved it and was like, okay, this is different. This is unique. This recipe is incredible. Like, wow, I can see why this works. Okay, now I'll buy the done for you. So that's the value of that kind of third option, where once people see the secret sauce, see the idea, see the recipe, they're going to want to hire you just to come and cook the whole meal for them. And that's why you need to think bigger and play bigger with your business, and not just limit yourself to, well, I'm going to live or die on Amazon book sales and Amazon royalties, or I'm going to live or die on online courses. If that's all you want to do, great. But I like to have multiple ways for people to work with you. So how else can they get access to you? The number one most expensive thing should be your one-on-one time and attention and brain. Since I work with lots of coaches and consultants, this is how I think, right? When I talk to them about pricing, number one, highest, top of the triangle, top of the pyramid is your one-on-one brain. Above that even is you doing it for them. So say you're a master copywriter, you writing my copy is the most expensive thing. Right below that's me picking your brain for an hour, having you review my copy, edit my copy. Below that is your group program where you train in a group setting and we get Q&A. Below that is your do-it-yourself online course with all your best templates, scripts, fill in the blanks. Below that is your book that you sell for $20. Below that is your free, or maybe you have an online course, or maybe you have free content material. So again, it all funnels up toward the most lucrative things. And I really feel like the name of the game right now is just getting yourself to stand out from the crowd. So obviously great content that's so good people want to steal it is a great way to do that. So how, again, to go back to that point of how to create great content that people want to steal, make it your best stuff, your best tips, don't hold anything back. And then also the other key piece is put your personality into it. I mentioned earlier, we're living in this synthetic era of content creation. So anybody can create a checklist, tips, strategies, ideas. That's not what is going to set you apart anymore. Like, again, your secret sauce, ChatGPT probably knows it. So what's going to set you apart and get people to give you their money is connection. People are craving connection. Well, how do others connect with you as a human being? You have to put your personality into your content. Just like I'm doing on this podcast, telling stories, laughing, being myself, people are getting to know, like, and trust me as a human being. They're either attracted to my communication style, my personality, my sense of humor, my approach, my style, or they're repelled. And it's good for you. You want to have a strong brand. You don't want to have a squishy brand that doesn't say anything, that's too vanilla. You want to attract your ideal prospects who say, not only would I, enjoy working with you and your tips are great, I like you. I could have a beer with you. I think it'd be fun to hang out with you. You seem like a great person. Or we have the same values. We're both family people, or we're both wanting to build work around our life and the other way around, or we're both entrepreneurs and we have this goal. Like, again, people, we crave connection with other humans and we look for commonalities. The only way they're going to know that from your online content is if you tell them, is if you put your personality into your content, put your passions in there, put your, things that you're most excited about, that you love. Tell your story. Your biggest advantage in the marketplace is you. It's your unique story, your unique communication style, your unique personality. That's what sets you apart. Now that plus great tips is the killer content. So the simple formula I give people of, okay, how do I actually do this? What does that look like in terms of a blog post, a podcast episode, etc.? It's a simple formula. Personal story plus business lesson equals content. So here I started this podcast with a personal story. I was on Google and I stumbled across somebody stole my book and published it for free. Personal story. And then I married that to a business lesson, which has been the bulk of the podcast about why it's a good thing and why you want to create content that's so good, you should steal it. And then I obviously added a twist of curiosity, and it's counterintuitive and it's different. Like, why would you want people to steal your stuff? That's weird. So people listen, right? Open those curiosity loops with your content of, this is different, this is unique, this isn't what I thought, this goes against conventional wisdom. And that cave person brain we have says, oh, well then I should probably pay attention, because this isn't something I can easily categorize and set on the shelf and go, yep, seen that. That's the other piece of content, is be different, be unique. And how do you do that? You have a strong brand, a strong personality, a strong take, a strong thought, and you put your real self in. And if you're authentic and transparent and approachable with your content, people will feel comfortable jumping over that digital gulf and into talking to you in reality, real life, one-to-one. That's what's often missing, is feeling comfortable moving from, I read it online, but I don't feel like I could approach you and talk to you. Or I read your stuff online, but you seem perfect. You seem like you've never had a bad day. You've never, had an Instagram photo where you don't look perfect. I don't feel like you could relate to me because I'm a mess. I'm struggling. I'm not perfect. I don't have it all together. So again, let your guard down. Be your real self, because what I know is social media is not the truth. Like, I've met so many people behind the scenes. I'm like, oh, good. You're just as much of a mess as I am, but you don't convey that on, social media. And again, people are going to trust people that have spent time in the trenches, that have some scars, that have been beat up. Now, I don't want to trust and work with people who are stuck there and wallowing in it, just like you don't. So you don't make it an episode of Oprah or Dr. Phil and woe is me and I'm stuck here and I'm in pain and I'll never escape. What you do is you share the journey, you share the transformation, you share the lessons learned. I share the stories all the time of, the low points I've had in my business and the struggles I've had, and then what changed, right? And the simple formula for this, the case study formula I teach clients, is what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. So what it was like was I was in this pain, I had this problem, I had this struggle, and being authentic and transparent. What happened, I took these actions, I did these things. What it's like now, the great outcome, the happy result, all that. People can follow that journey and go, oh, cool, you're a real person. You struggled too. And I'm in a place now where I'm in the what it's like situation. I want to do what you did in the middle where, what happened, and I want to follow those steps so I can get where you are now, which is what it's like now. And so again, that's where you can now be placed as this trusted guide. But you have to do that by being real, authentic, and transparent, and letting your guard down. Like, no one's going to think less of you if you're like, yeah, I was struggling. I was 6 figures in debt. I had to file for bankruptcy and, blah, 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 blah. If the end of that story is, and now I'm a 10-figure millionaire, billionaire, whatever. Like, right? So, we love that. We love a good story. We love a good hero's journey. We love someone struggling, overcoming obstacles, achieving greatness, because all of us have to go through it. Failure is part of getting where you want to go, right? So anyway, I could go on and on about this, as you can tell, but I hope you find this helpful, and I hope you take action, and I hope you strive to create content that is so good people want to steal it. Because when you do, and when you play bigger and have more ways to monetize yourself and monetize your business, you're going to see incredible results. So take that, run with it. Appreciate you so much, and we'll see you soon on another episode.